When we imagine our planet established in an era of full brotherhood, without any kind of war, without hunger, with a physical and spiritual evolution, and we stop to see the world we live in today, it can give us the feeling that this will never happen. Well, man history is not a good reference for many of these issues, because we know even after so many achievements since the emergence of the first man and first woman on Earth, we still live in many aspects a delay in our history with hunger, wars, and other things that make us so far from a utopian reality. But even with all the problems at our contemporary society, one thing is undeniable. Even through everything we went through, and even with periods of darkness, humanity has always progressed, sometimes in small steps and other wide steps, but somehow always progressed. As our world still has many serious problems, sometimes we even have the sensation we have regressed in some ways, but if we analyze in detail, the aspects that cause this sensation are only a few compared to the whole and to the great achievements we have had so gradual today. And if we further analyze in detail, they are still almost always to strengthen the human being by experience before we continue our journey. And it's important to observe that certain man's achievements were almost inevitable. Which really differed was actually the time spent. Much of what we resist accepting to humanity advancement, we ended paying high prices, having sad part of our history periods, but on the other hand, this made us who we are today, with all the features of our own experience, and with that, somehow, make us unique. According to the Urantia book, the progress of a society is inevitable, and takes us to a wonderful future period called light and life. The time universes are not perfect, but perfection is also your destination. The struggle for perfection belongs not only to the intellectual and spiritual levels of being, but also to the physical level of energy and mass. In the era of light and life, poverty and social inequality have basically been vanished. The economic, social and administrative status of these worlds is of a high order. The science, art and industry grow strong. Industry has been redirected to serve the higher aims of such a great company. And the government will gradually disappear. The self-control slowly turns obsolete human laws. Schools are vastly improved to a devoted education of mind and soul expansion. If we could only see one of these more advanced worlds long settled in light and life would never question the wisdom of the evolutionary scheme of creation. Even if there were the wonderful ascension career, still the superb evolutionary attainment of these worlds settled in light and life, justify the creation of man in the worlds of time and space. It seems utopian, isn't it? Further imagining that light and life is not made up only one stage, but by 7 stages. This planetary era of light and life exceeds by far the most precious of our hopes, beyond all concepts, even the most visionary of future life, embraced in our religious beliefs that describe the heavens as the immediate and final destination addressed for us. For more fabulous that this scenario may seem, one thing is undeniable. All evolutionary planets are today in light and life, went through difficult times, as we pass or are passing, to a greater or lesser degree depending on the case. The experience requires effort and we achieve a better world. Our current attitudes are crucial because they determine the time will be spent and how it will progress. Despite this being a matter of time on this process, we cannot deny that we're late, and it is important to point out one thing. The delay at the humanity is the delay of each individual, then the advancement of the individual, in its proportion, advances the whole. And that is our challenge for the gradual building of a better world. The great difficulty that our planet finds, to achieve the high planetary destiny of light and life, come from disease, degeneracy, war and multilingualism. No evolutionary world can expect to progress beyond the first stage of the establishment in light and life, before reaching the unity of language, one world government, among other important factors that will ensure peace. But before that we still have much to walk, because we have to ensure the development of tools that prevent the establishment of an oppressive totalitarian government, through selfish, vile, ignorant leaders, and at the same time enhances the common good of society as a whole. Peace on our planet will be promoted far more by international trade organizations than by the sentimental sophistry of visionary peace planning. Trade relations have been facilitated by the development of language and the best methods of communication, and for better transportation. And in that process is under construction. Have you ever wondered? When we think of a better world, how we wonder this can happen. Imagine the presence of superhuman personalities to assist in this process is fascinating, but have you ever stopped to wonder if you even want to reflect this change to the world? Feel part of this experience? Good to think. Well, the most interesting reveal from the book is that mortals from seventh stage of light and life, after all conquering, they learn that love is the greatest of all things in the universe, and know that God is love. And when a human being finds God, is experienced within the soul of this being an elusive stirring triumph of the discovery, he is impelled to seek contact with his fellow unenlightened, through loving service, not to show that found God, but rather to allow the overflow of eternal goodness that comes within his own soul, to invigorate and ennoble their peers. When you start to find God in his soul, we'll soon begin to discover him in other men's souls, and finally in all creatures and creations of a mighty universe. And this is just another way of saying that the universes are settled in light and life. To understand more about light and life and better understand how we can move forward to get closer to it, and also read a special exception that was presented to us over the government of a neighboring planet that can support us in our process. Reading the book and participations in study groups are fundamental. Good reading and see you at the next video.